In the tranquil village of Eldoria, an otherworldly ship lands, bringing advanced technology and hidden dangers. Healer Elara and warrior Darian discover a shocking secret. The Zirax aliens aren't just seeking refuge, they might be planning an invasion. As love blooms amidst the impending war, will trust or betrayal shape Eldoria's fate? Dive into the epic saga of courage and unity in Eldoria's trial. We need you, or we perish. In the year 1800, the small village of Eldoria lay nestled within the verdant embrace of the enchanted forest. Life was simple and serene, untouched by the chaos of the outside world. But this peaceful existence was shattered one fateful night when the skies above Eldoria were torn asunder by a blinding light, heralding the arrival of an otherworldly vessel. The villagers watched in awe and terror as the enormous ship, shimmering with an ethereal glow, descended upon the outskirts of their home. Elara, the village healer, stood among her people, her heart pounding with a mix of fear and curiosity. She was a woman of striking beauty, with raven black hair cascading down her back and piercing green eyes that seemed to hold the mysteries of the forest within them. Beside her stood Captain Darian, the leader of the village's modest militia. Tall and broad-shouldered, with a chiseled jaw and steely blue eyes, he was both a warrior and a protector, deeply respected by all who knew him. As the alien ship touched down, its smooth, metallic surface gleaming in the moonlight, a hatch slowly opened, revealing a figure unlike any the villagers had ever seen. The alien, tall and slender, with skin that shimmered like liquid silver, descended the ramp, its eyes, large and luminous, surveying the gathered crowd. It spoke in a language that resonated within the minds of those present, bypassing the need for spoken words. People of Eldoria, the alien's voice echoed in their minds. We come in peace. Our world is dying, and we seek refuge and alliance with your kind. Elara stepped forward, her healer's instincts overriding her fear. We welcome you, she said, her voice steady. But we must understand more about you and your intentions. The alien nodded, its expression unreadable. We are the Zirax, travelers of the stars. Our world was consumed by war, and we have sought sanctuary across the galaxy. In return for your hospitality, we offer our knowledge and technology. Captain Darian, ever the cautious warrior, narrowed his eyes. And what if we refuse? The alien's gaze shifted to him, and for a moment the air was thick with unspoken tension. Then we will leave in peace, but know that others may come who are not so benevolent. The days that followed were filled with both hope and uncertainty. The Zirax, true to their word, shared wonders of technology and medicine that astounded the villagers. Crops flourished, diseases were cured, and a new era of prosperity seemed within reach. Yet, not all were convinced of the Zirax's benevolence. Whispers of doubt and fear spread like wildfire, fanned by those who distrusted the alien presence. Amidst this tension, a bond began to form between Elara and Darian. Their shared responsibility for the village and their mutual concern for its future drew them closer together. Late-night conversations by the hearth turned into tender moments of shared vulnerability, and soon, their friendship blossomed into something deeper. One evening as they walked along the edge of the forest, Darian took Elara's hand in his. Elara, he began, his voice gentle yet resolute. I cannot shake the feeling that something isn't right. The Zirax have given us so much, but at what cost? I fear they may be hiding something from us. Elara squeezed his hand, her eyes reflecting the same worry. I feel it too, Darian, but we must tread carefully. If they mean us harm, we need to be prepared. And if they are truly our allies, we cannot afford to alienate them. Their fears were soon validated. One night, as the village slept, Darian and a few trusted militia members discovered a hidden chamber within the Zirax ship. Inside, they found a cache of advanced weapons and disturbing records suggesting that the Zirax were not mere refugees, but scouts for a larger invasion force. Darian's heart pounded as he realized the gravity of their situation. He and Elara convened a secret council with the village elders, revealing their discovery and formulating a plan to protect their home. The following day, as the Zirax ambassador stood before the gathered villagers, Elara stepped forward, her voice ringing with a newfound authority. "We have welcomed you into our home and our hearts," she declared, "but we cannot ignore the truth. We have discovered your plans for invasion. We demand an explanation." The Zirax ambassador's eyes widened in surprise, but its expression quickly hardened. "You misunderstand," it replied. "Our intentions are not to conquer, but to ensure our survival. Your world is rich and fertile, and we need it to rebuild." Captain Darian stepped beside Elara, his hand resting on the hilt of his sword. "We will not be pawns in your games," he said coldly. "Leave now, or face the consequences." The ambassador's gaze flickered to the hidden weapons cache, and for a moment it seemed as though violence was inevitable. But then, something remarkable happened. The other Zirax, who had integrated into the village, began to step forward, their expressions filled with sorrow and regret. "We did not come here to fight," one of them said, their voice trembling. "We sought a new home, yes, but we have come to love this village and its people. If you wish us to leave, we will do so." Elara's heart softened at their words, and she turned to Darian, her eyes pleading for a peaceful resolution. "Let them stay," she urged. "Let us find a way to coexist. We have already gained so much from them, and they from us. There must be another way." Darian's jaw clenched, but he nodded, trusting Elara's wisdom. "Very well," he said. "But know this. We will not tolerate deception or threats. From this day forward, we live as equals, or not at all." In the months that followed, the village of Eldoria transformed into a unique haven, where humans and Zirax worked side by side, forging a future that honored both their legacies. Elara and Darian, their love now a beacon of hope and unity, led their people through this uncharted territory with courage and compassion. Together they faced the challenges of this new alliance, their bond growing stronger with each passing day. The Zirax, with their superior knowledge and technology, assisted the villagers in ways unimaginable. They introduced new methods of agriculture that resulted in bountiful harvests, constructed advanced water purification systems, and taught the villagers how to harness the natural energy of the earth. But as the seasons changed and the initial excitement waned, new challenges arose. Some villagers remained deeply suspicious of the Zirax, convinced that their presence was a ticking time bomb. Tension simmered, leading to heated arguments and, on occasion, physical altercations. Elara and Darian found themselves constantly mediating, striving to maintain the fragile peace. One autumn evening, as a chill wind swept through the village, a group of dissenters confronted Elara and Darian in the town square. Their leader, a burly man named Harlan, stepped forward, his face red with anger. "We didn't ask for this," he shouted. "These creatures are not our friends. They are invaders biding their time. We should drive them out before it's too late." Elara met Harlan's gaze, her voice calm but firm. "Harlan, I understand your fear, but we must remember that the Zirax have helped us in countless ways. They have shown us nothing but goodwill." Harlan's eyes narrowed. "Goodwill? Or deception? We can't afford to be naive, Elara. Our children's future is at stake." Before Elara could respond, a Zirax named Lyra, who had become a close ally, stepped forward. "We understand your fear," she said softly, her luminous eyes filled with sorrow. "We have no intention of harming you. We only seek to survive, just as you do." The tension in the square was palpable, and it was clear that words alone would not resolve the deep-seated mistrust. Captain Darian, sensing the volatility of the situation, intervened. "We will hold a council meeting, Hinasamer-san, so now we see it end turn. All grievances will be heard, and we will decide our path forward together, as a community. That night, the villagers gathered in the Great Hall, a sprawling wooden structure adorned with tapestries depicting Eldoria's rich history. The atmosphere was charged with anticipation and unease. Elara and Darian stood at the front, flanked by the village elders and representatives of the Zirax. For hours, voices rose and fell as villagers expressed their fears, hopes, and demands. Harlan and his followers insisted on expelling the Zirax, while others, inspired by Elara and Darian's leadership, advocated for unity and cooperation. Lyra and other Zirax representatives shared their stories of loss and desperation, appealing to the villagers' compassion. As the meeting drew to a close, Elara stepped forward, her voice carrying a quiet strength. "We are at a crossroads, Saga. We can choose fear and division, or we can choose hope and unity. The Zirax are not our enemies. They are our neighbors, our friends, and our allies. We have the opportunity to build something greater than any of us could achieve, alone." Captain Darian placed a hand on her shoulder, his voice resonating with conviction. "We will not allow fear to dictate our actions. We will protect our home, but we will also honor the values that make Eldoria strong: compassion, courage, and community." In the silence that followed, the villagers' resolve began to solidify. One by one they stood and voiced their support for Elara and Darian's vision. Even Harlan, after a long contemplative pause, nodded begrudgingly. "For the sake of our children," he muttered, "we will give this a chance." The decision was made. The Zirax would remain, and together they would forge a new future for Eldoria. The days that followed were filled with hard work and renewed determination. Villagers and Zirax collaborated on various projects, from building new homes to creating shared spaces for education and cultural exchange. The initial mistrust began to fade, replaced by a burgeoning sense of camaraderie and mutual respect. Elara and Darian's love story flourished amidst this backdrop of transformation. Their bond, forged in the crucible of adversity, became a source of inspiration for the entire village. They married in a joyous ceremony that blended human and Zirax traditions, symbolizing the union of their two peoples. As the years passed, Eldoria became a beacon of hope and progress, attracting visitors from distant lands who marveled at the harmonious coexistence of humans and aliens. The village, once a secluded haven, evolved into a thriving community renowned for its innovation and inclusivity. Elara and Darian, now leaders in both name and spirit, continued to guide their people with wisdom and compassion. Their love, unwavering and enduring, remained a testament to the power of unity and the strength of the human spirit. And so, in the shadow of the enchanted forest, under the watchful gaze of the stars, Eldoria thrived, a shining example of what could be achieved when fear was overcome by hope, and strangers became family.